Guru Sahib Ji Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji Mukh Uchra Shastra Khat Ping Kiran Char Jaye Anda Lakha Badro Sana Jao Khad Kripa Karaye Kaha Buddha Prabhu Tuchha Hamari Varna Saka Mahama Dihari हम ना सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी आप लिहो तुम कथा सुधारी हम ना सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी आप लिहो तुम कथा सुधारी। गुरु प्यारी गुरु सवारी साध संगत जी आए आओ कज वज के फतेह प्रवान करो जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। महाराज की कृपा सदका आप जी वडभागी हो जिन्होंने अमृत वेले के सुभागे समय के मर की खुशियां प्राप्त कर रहे हो। हुण सिंघा पासों सेवादारा पासों हुक्म आया है कि जो महाराज का अज सवेर का हुक्मनामा सी उसके 15-20 मिनटों वास्ते अंग्रेजी के विचार साझी करन। सो हुण जो धन गुरु अर्जन देव जी महाराज सच्चे पातशाह ने सानू उपदेश दिता अज उस पर ध्यान पाइए। साध संगत जी, we're very blessed to be sitting in the laps of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the master of both universes, of all worlds, at this special time of Amritvela, and you're all done, you're all blessed to have had this summer, especially at Amritvela, to be sitting in the Sadh Sangat and in the feet of the Guru. So there's a request to do in a very summarized form, go through the art or the overall translation, the meanings of the Hukamnama Sahib today for the Sadh Sangat, and in particular, with it being the introduction, the beginning of a new Sevadar committee for the Birmingham Sikh Society. So, sab to pehla badaiyan jinnaं nu seva mili. Congratulations to those of you that have got Maharaj ne thanu seva diti hai, Guru Sahib has given you this seva. Das was fortunate enough, I was fortunate enough to be the president a very long time ago. I think it was 2015 to 2016, Guru Sahib's Kirpa. And it's amazing to see, some of the uprale that we were involved in, the Amritvela every Wednesday is still continuing. So to see So with Guru Sahib's Kirpa, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj today blessed us with the Hukamnama. Now please don't feel, if you're not in the committee, this Hukamnama isn't for you. Our Updesh Sarane Sanjaya. This Updesh is for all of us. But I guess in particular, those of you that are going to be involved in Seva. And to be honest, I'm assuming even if you're not in the committee, you'll still be involved at a Sikh society. Even if it's turning up, you've all got a Jummebari. You've all got a responsibility. Quite an exciting one as well. I believe there's going to be a chat after as well. So if anyone wants to ask any further questions, with Maharaj's Kirpa, we've been involved from Sikh societies and now into various other Sikh organizations. So I'm more than happy to offer any mentorship or any advice. Feel free to ask. So Maharaj, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj starts his Hukamnama Sahib with Salok Mahalla Panjava Ustutt Ninda Nanak Ji Main Hab Banyai Chodeya Hab Kich Tyagi. So this Shabad is quite famous. Anandakaraj, you hear it at Anandakaraj, the Pallavi Rasam, Jara Shabad Nanda. And it's quite interesting, Maranya Shabad Ditta Thanu, the Sanubi. And Guru Sahib starts, that's the first thing they say, was the first thing they want us to leave with, Ke Jiri Ustutt Nindya Hundi. Whatever praise or whatever slander, whatever Nindya Chugli we get, Usara Tyag Dana. You're going to leave all of it. Make distance yourself from any praise and any slander. And Sara nu tyag dena. And Guru Sahib saying what's the first thing we need to do to be able to habbe sa kudabe dite to palle tade lagi. Guruji is saying that how do we actually recognize the world as false, and how do we get the palla, which is like a robe, how do we take the palla of Guru Sahib? Now in an Anandakaraj, what happens at this point is whilst this Shabad is being said, the father will come and pass the palla of the Singh into the Bibi's lap, and that's officially the father passing the duty of his daughter to the husband. Now, of course, I'm not saying for one instance that, you know, women can't be independent. Let's pull that to a side. Jivi Jumevari Hindi, until then, I'm a father of 2 daughters as well. The daughters are my responsibility, whether they like it or not. And I'll always take that. So that's what that's symbolizing. And here, there's a marriage analogy, but also the analogy in a spiritual sense is us trying to marry Guru Sahib and take their palla. So here Guru Sahib kehde sanu ki if we want the palla of Vaheguru, if we want to take the palla of Vaheguru and make that connection, and what happens when we get the palla of Vaheguru? Just like when a wife takes the palla of their husband, they are now under that husband's protection. It's a husband's responsibility to look, to care after them, to love them, and all the rest of it. And in the same way, once we're given the palla of Guru Sahib, of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, then we become their responsibility. And somebody, that's the best position to be in. That's the best insurance policy to have. Because if you've got Guru Sahib watching over you, within your seva, within your personal life, even within your academic studies, ganja ki, vyah bhi karne, bache bhi palne, whatever it is, then nothing can go wrong. And even in those instances, jithe you think something's gone wrong, if you've done your ardasa before and you've done it to the best of your ability, you leave the outcome with Guru Sahib. Now, as someone who's been involved in organizing things, especially in seva, sometimes things don't go to plan. 5 people turn up to the event, or 500 people turn up to the event and things go crazy. In either instance, bas mara degi ardas karni, that Guru Sahib asita uddam karna, we're going to do our effort, baki whatever happens is in your hands. And if you leave it in Guru Sahib's hands, even when things go a bit crazy, they'll figure themselves out. And hopefully you'll have some experiences coming along very, very soon. So, usstat in India, very, very important. Especially when you're in a seva limelight, usstat bahut mil jani. And our generation, we give usstat like there's no tomorrow. We throw out praises like there's no tomorrow. And it's good, you should recognize people, we should appreciate people. But jala bhi nahi karna. Unfortunately, the bar is so low. If someone brings samosa spring rolls in on a Wednesday, that's it. We think they're, you know, they're Raja Rani or whatever. So what I would also say is, yes, especially those of you that are going to be the presidents or co-presidents or whatever, make your people feel valued. Make sure the committee feels valued and the Sangat feels valued as well. But jada bhi nahi karna, because then people start getting big heads and they forget whilst they're there. So usstat bhi khyaal na deni. And also, when someone gives you usstat, the key thing to remember is, meri usstat nahi hai, Guru Sahib di usstat hai. There's a famous, there's a pankti you all know within Nityanim Sahib, that Sant Kartar Singh Ji, a great Gurmukh, and the son of Sant Kartar Singh Ji was the best Sikh Society president ever. Bhai Mandeep Singh Ji, who were the leader of the All Sikh Student India Association. And sorry, Bhai Mandeep Singh Ji would say this constantly. They would say that Sab gune tere mein nahi koe, veni gune kite bhagat na hoye. Bhai Mandeep Singh Ji, as they were walking to and from college or university, they would say this pankti constantly. Sab gune tere mein nahi koe, veni gune kite bhagat na hoye. Sab gune tere mein nahi koe, veni gune kite bhagat na hoye. So what does that mean? And look, they were the best Sikh Society president we're ever going to hear of. If you haven't read the Jeevani, I highly recommend it. They became Shaheed in 1984. And they started a wave of revolution within Sikh students within India at the time we needed it most. So I'd urge you all to look into their Jeevani, because if you want a role model in terms of what kind of seva you should be doing as students, they're the one. And what you'll find is that Sabto Pella Unoni Kamai Bahut Kiti, they did a lot of seva, a lot of simran, a lot of bhakti, and that's what made the speeches, that's what made the organizing so powerful. So Sabguna Tere Manahi Koe, they're saying, constantly saying to Guru Sahib, all of the virtues, all of the good things I'm doing, I've got none of them. Manahi Koe, Veniguni Kite, they're all yours, Vaheguru. And then they say, Veniguni Kite, without having good virtues, without gun, Bhagatana Hoye, you can't do bhakti. So one of the things we can ask Guru Sahib for is, Guruji, give us those gun, give us those Devi gun, give us the virtues to be able to even do this seva and be able to actually do some bhakti. Because we don't just randomly wake up one day and turn the bhakti switch on. Oh, Mari di mere na hundi hai. Dusri gal Nindya. What's the most toxic thing that ruins committees? And we all laugh about Gurdwara level, but it happens at Sikh society level as well. Constantly, I know you're all looking at each other and I think pichle saal ho gaya. It's Nindya. what is Nindya? Nindya is not feedback. If who's the Pradhan next year is you. So do you go by Ishar Singh or Bhagat Singh Manwab nahi pata? Ishar Singh. So if Ishar Singh does a galti, tell him, or Nindya nahi. But if Ishar Singh does a galti and then I go and tell Jodh Singh in the men's toilets, na ki Ishar Singh ne aa kiti enu ਉਹ ਸਮੋਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਐਵੇਂ ਕਮਲਾ ਬਣਿਆ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਸੋ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਣਾ of course ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ and I would say there's a really interesting idea of going off Sikhi but also coming back to Sikhi. There's a really good book called Principles by Ray Dalio, who's the CEO of Blackwater, which is the biggest US investment firm. It's a really, really good book, and he talks about this idea of thoughtful disagreement. Within yourselves, you should be able to thoughtfully disagree. Disagreeing is not a bad thing. It's actually a constructive thing that will get you the best outcome. But what happens is, people aren't used to disagreement, so ਜਦੋਂ someone speaks against what their idea is, they take it personally. It's not personal. So nindya nahi karni. If you're not going to say it to the person's face, don't say it at all. Respectfully, huh? Because often nindya ban gandi. And with nindya, what happens? People get paranoid, and the Chinese whispers or the Desi whispers start, and that's what crumbles things very, very quickly. And also, even when you're doing the right thing, you'll get a lot of people talk, I won't say the word, but bad about you, huh? And again, one of my favorite punktis from Gurbani is, Je koi nind kare har janki, apna gun na gavave. That even if someone speaks bad of a sevak of Guru Sahib, they never lose their own gur, they never lose their own virtue, they never stoop down to that person's level. Now, of course, don't be passive. If someone comes and gives you a tabir, give them 2 back. That's not a problem. But don't let someone else's words or someone else's actions deviate you from what you're meant to be doing. And you keeping the gur that you've got and never stooping down to someone's level. It's a very hard balance, but so usstat and Nindya, be wary of all, and if you're getting either, onu bas passe hi rakhna. I remember that sab gun tere mein nahi koi veni gun kite bhagtan hoye. Say that punkti constantly. If you haven't learned it off by heart, learn it off by heart. It comes in Japji Sahib anyways. So Guru Sahib opens with the shabad, with that salok, and the aim is to get the palla of Guru Sahib. And how do we get that palla? By letting go of all of the hopes and putting all of our asara, all of our faith in Guru Sahib. And I'll talk about a few practical explanations of what that might mean towards the end of the Hukamnama Sahib. Next, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj goes on to say, Mahalla Panjava, Firdi Nanak Dio, Hon Phavi Thi, Bahote Desavara Panta. I'm going to summarize in a Sankhep Roop just because of time. Maharaj is saying that Firdi, we've been walking around constantly. That Desavara means this hour, our desan, in other lands. And I've found, I think I'm walking around crazy, that menu koshni lab raha. Taha sukh sukhali suti jagur mere sajjan main labda. I've only finally slept at peace when I found the Guru. So here Maharaj Gendaya, even within your seva and even in your personal lives, that the world has lots of options to offer. And quite literally we'll run around from one country to another trying to find that sukh. In your personal life, it might be you go here, you go here, you go here. You read this, you read that, you ask this person, you ask that person. You go to this doctor, whatever. But Maharaj Gendaya, ultimately, you're only going to find sukh when you come to the Guru. Because we're trying to find help from people that need help themselves. The only perfect being is Guru Sahib. So the only perfect solution will be Guru Sahib as well. Now, whether that comes to seva you're doing in the Sikh society, your own jivani, your own academics, you're all at university now, I assume, and when you go on to do grad jobs or whatever else it is in life, Bella Maharaj to Agya Mangki, always come and do ardas to the Guru. And if you can't do a formal ardas, it does not matter. Just come and just say in English if you need to. You know, Guru Sahib is the knower of all languages. But always come and make that tradition for yourself. Before I around any college, before I do anything as we're doing today, come and ask the Guru for their asisa, and then everything will resolve itself out as well. Another shabad that I'd highly recommend you learn is Gita Lori Agam Suhar Paakhiya. A shabad that Maharaj is basically saying, it's a Benti shabad, say Guru Sahib, whatever काम we're about to do now, please proceed aapte karo. And if you've got these shabads off by heart, you can say it wherever you are, na? As you're about to walk into an interview, as you're about to start your langar on campus, jera marji hoge. And Guru Sahib goes on to say, that all of the dukh, whether it's a spiritual dukh, a spiritual pain, a bodily pain, a mental pain, puliya means to forget. When we forget Vaheguru, all those sare dukh paida hunde. When we forget Guru Sahib and we distance ourselves from the Guru, that's when all of these pains arise. And that's when things start going wrong. Upav is like jatan, efforts. Even if we do hundreds of thousands of different efforts, we try to find solutions. Kuliya means like to be resolved. Nothing will get resolved. Guru to bina. Jisnu visara naam, so nirtan kandiya. There are no naam visarya. Those people that have forgot the name of Vaheguru, those people that have disconnected from Sikhi, if you like, or are not making that effort. What is here Guru Arjan Dev Ji described them as? Nirtan. Tan is referring to wealth. Nirtan means that person that doesn't have any wealth. And that means within this sword and the next. Because Sangat Ji, the only tan, the only treasure, the only profit we take with us is the naam, the seva, the money we've done. The digits in our bank account will not go with us. The PhDs and the accolades we've got are all going to be left here. It's only the seva, the simran, the seva, the sangat we've done. That's the only wealth that's actually going to go with us. And Sikh society, I would say, is the perfect time to do it, because it's a lot of pressure in the sense that I'm 30 years old, I'm married, got my own business, I've got 2 kids, money get by, everything, life's good in that sense. But what I've realized is time is really of the essence. Like 10 minutes to me now was how I used to treat 2 hours before. And I know you guys are all busy or jada busy. You're not busy, man. You're busy, trust me. Whether you like it or not, it's very busy. And I'm saying that in an encouraging way, because what I would say is, I tried to make the most of my time at university. And even after I took a gap year, I got to spend some time in Punjab, whatever, right? But what I would say is, the summer that I would say I capitalized on in university, and I wasted summers, don't get me wrong, has fed me through the busiest periods of my life. So whatever you build up now is going to be your building block for the next few years, if that makes sense. And people only realize it when it's too late. So I would say the Sankhya you're going to get now, the opportunity to learn how to do seva, organize a team within a committee, organize big events, how do you interact with Sangat. These things aren't just seva. These things will help you in your jobs, in your marriage. I promise you. I've learned more about corporate skills in seva settings than any book has ever taught me, in Sangat settings. And I would say respectfully, that's why I've done with marriages and be able to get about well, where it's in terms of my job, my business. It's the skills I didn't even know I was picking up when I was at Sikh society or when I was organizing a camp. Those skills are so valuable, and if you think about it, people outside of a religious setting don't have any access to it. Christians do it really well, the ones that are religious, they do these things on a massive scale. So don't think of these skills as something that's taxing. If you know how to package these things look like gold dust on your CV. I can talk to you about that as well. Actually, I would say my first job, which was at an independent school in Birmingham, right next to Birmingham Uni, actually King Edward's, that school, where you probably see all the kids with the blazers. The reason I got that job was because I talked to them. The majority of my interview was about what the organizing I did at Sikh Society. That's literally what got me the job. And they were gobsmacked by it. So don't ever think that Seva's coming at the expense of your academic journey or your career journey. It's not, it's complementing it. It will take it to a level that you didn't even know was possible. Maharaj then go on to say that Jisnu Vasarana, so Joni Handiya, that those people that forget the name of Vaheguru, Joni Handiya, Joni is referring to June, they constantly are born and die because they're not able to break out that cycle due to not achieving the profit they've come to earn. Then Maharaj towards the end of the Shabad said that Jis Kasamana Abe Jette, this Jama Dandadi, that those people that don't remember their beloved Vaheguru, Jama de Dandamel, they get the danda, they get the beatings of the Jamdoots. Why? Because the Jamdoots, the messengers of death, these aren't made up beings, कई गुरसिखां ने इन्होंने दर्शन भी किए. Some people have even seen these beings in real life. They're described as these very tall, 7-8 foot black figures with red eyes, as you kind of imagine anyways. That the Jamduts, their seva is to come and take the souls of those people that have not achieved what they've come to do in this life. Now for a Gursikh, the Jamduts are not allowed to go anywhere near. Guru Sahib comes, some Gursikhs come, Panj Pyare come, whatever, right? But Guru Sahib says if we forget Waheguru, then at the end the Jamduts are going to come to collect us. Jis kasamana avi jete rogi sogane, those people that have forgot Waheguru, they're truly the ones with the disease. Bottle, they might look very, very healthy, they might be having all the best organic foods or whatever else, but undero, they're the ones with the disease. And then Guru Sahib goes on to say, Jis kasamana avi jete sukharo ahankariya, those people that forget Waheguru, one of the which ahankar par janda. And again, very important, there's a lot of hankar that gets thrown around in committees, right? Any committee, whether it's Sikhi or non-Sikhi, because there's a padavi, there's a responsibility. So we teach sambal ke rakhni, and again, call each other up pyar na. So idu hela jage jena nao visariya. So then Guru Sahib says that those people that forget Waheguru within this world, they're miserable. Nothing comes of them. And one of the koi kamani safar hunde. So here Guruji has given us all of us actually, a really important warning. And if we summarize, try to summarize, Maharaj kende that usstat and nindya are the two most dangerous things. Is cheez to bacha ke rakhna. And again, remember, sab gun tere mein nahi koi veni gun kite pal na hoy. And then Guru Sahib is saying that do not forget what Guru Sahib. Do not forget what we do with everything we do, wherever it's possible, do ardas. Again, keep these programs up with Maharaj's Kripa, the Amritvela demands, and also in your individual paths, try to implement as much Sikhi as you can. Have a minimum threshold that you're not going to waver from. For those of you that are Amritari, of course, that's minimum. Panjabani and Itanim. I would say if you're involved in any type of seva, you should be doing at least extra Japji Sahib a day. For those of you who are not looking around the room, some of you are a bit more experienced, we should be upping that to Panj Japji Sahib a day. If we want anything to come a bit. If ape seva ho jandi, ape parai bhi ho jandi. Maharaj Kripa, I've seen people around me, I've seen things with myself, with Maharaj Kripa. Things get resolved, honestly. I don't know how to explain it. And I'll finish with one Pangati from Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj that explains over this. Pangati basically, let me see if it comes. Maaf karna. If the Pangati comes back to me. Haan, Navanidhi 18 Siddhi Piche Lagiya Phira Johar Hirday Sada Visai. Hopefully you get it up on the screen, at this thing, no pressure. Navanidhi 18 Siddhi Piche Lagiya Phira Johar Hirday Sada Visai. That the Na Nitya 18 Siddhiyan, Gurbani we hear, Guru Sahib describes this, that the 9 treasures of the world, fame, wealth, status, all these things, right? And 18 Siddhiyan, the 18 spiritual powers that exist, being able to read someone's mind, being able to travel, being able to change things, whatever, right? They follow that person, that keeps Waheguru within their mind at all times. I think often we chase these treasures, but Maharaj Kende, if you chase Guru Sahib, the treasures will always follow your feet anyways. And there's so many examples of that. I'll finish with the Sakhi of Baba Harnam Singh Ji Rampur Keriwali. Great Mahapurush. If you haven't read their book, Sikh and Nahiya, highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. And also, basis of Sikhi, Boss TV have done an amazing podcast on their life as well. It's invaluable, honestly. But when they were making the Gurdwara Rampur Keri, which is in Punjab, you can still go to the Gurdwara today, there was a lack of money. Mayadi Lord see, because they'd run out of money from the Sangat, the building blocks had finished. And the Sevadar of Sant Baba Harnam Singh Ji, Sant Seva Singh his name was, he's the one that's written the biography of Baba Harnam Singh Ji as well. They explained the situation. They went to Baba Harnam Singh Ji and said, Baba Ji, Maya, Maya, they did hogi. And Baba Ji said, go behind my bed, and there's a box. The Ba Paki Hat ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ ਚੱਕ ਲਓ ਪਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ They said, go behind my bed, there's a box, put your arm in, grab as much cash as you need, but do not look. Now obviously, the first thing you're going to think is, I want to see how much cash Babaji's got. Okay, and they listened to the bhajan of Babaji. They went and literally they couldn't stop feeling notes like up into their arm. There was no bottom. It was like a bottomless pit. And they grabbed as much Maya as they could and they went. And they were thinking, where's Babaji got all this money from? Like what? Like, you know, we're with them 24/7. Where have they got all this Maya from? So the mind got the better of Sant Seva Singh. And they went and looked. And when they looked, Khali, there's nothing in there. There's an empty box. And then they were like, man, we should have looked. So then they went to Babaji and said, Babaji, maaf karna, apologies, I did not listen to your bhajan, but it was killing me, I had to know. Then they said, Babaji, when I went Pelna, there was so much money in there, I would have been there for years counting it. There's nothing in there. The Babaji ne kiya, look, ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਆਪੇ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦੇ. Whenever I need money, whenever we need money, Guru Sahib just sends the money. ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਕਮੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. Whenever we don't, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਖਾਲੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. And in the same way, honestly, whatever come it is, even if it's money, it will come. So, like piche nahi darna, don't be scared of finances. If there's a Guru Prala, the Maya will come. And if there's a seriously Guru Prala, let me know. I'll happily help fundraise for you guys or whoever it is. But Maharaj Ardas Karo, people will come in weird and wonderful ways. You see, bas karo sahi rakhna and think big. For too long, our Sikh societies have thought small. We just think that unfortunately, a Sikh society has been reduced to doing a successful Langar on campus event, feeding 1,000 people. Chalo, wo bhi badhiya gall hai. But then that's it. And applying for the Guild Awards at the end of the year. It's not enough. It's not doing much, respectfully. And I would say if you're interested, go to the ISOC events and go to the Jewish Society events. See what they're doing and just steal it. Just steal it. And obviously do better as well. Do you get it? So, I'm going to finish the wrap up. If anyone wants to speak more, I think we're going to have a bit of vichar anyways. More than happy to help. And on just behalf of like Base of Sikhi, Demanhar, Singh's Camp, Coles Camp, Marikit probably got a growing network of Seva Dazi, the Katha Catalyst. If any of you have heard of it, you're university students, we'd love for you guys to get involved as well. If you're interested in any of the initiatives, please have a chat with me or just get in touch. And if you'd like support from any of these initiatives, we're here with Guru Sahib's Kirpa. So yeah, there's a whole bank of mentors that have been through what you're going through, even on an academic sense. One other project that's in the pipeline will be launched very soon. It's called a Sikh Professionals Network. So if you like mentorship, CV help, interview prep, internships, whatever it is, to start having the conversation. If you don't ask, you won't get. ठीक है जी, so हम दो अखिलियां पंक्तियां पढ़ के समाप्ति करेंगे. भूल चुके दी खिमा, forgive me for all the mistakes last would have made was trying sakhiyan and doing vichar on the Gurbani. Please bless us with your cease to continue whatever seva Maharaj blesses us with, and Maharaj third Julia that we Sikhi da pyas, Sharda da seva bakshan. जिस खसमना आवी चित सुखरो अहंकारिया सोई दुहेला जग जिन नाव विसारिया जिस खसमना आवी चित सुखरो अहंकारिया सोई दुहेला जग जिन नाव विसारिया वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Sorry, I forgot to mention, every Sunday we have adult Sanskrit class here as well, so you're most welcome to come. We prefer when people start from scratch. So if you've never read any Punjabi in your life, that's even better. So I know it's 9:30 every week. And we also do a bit of Naam Simran, and we're going through Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's history as well. So Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki